You know, there's a question that crosses everyone's mind as we get a little older. How long do I have left? But here's the thing. It's not about counting the years. It's about making those years count. And believe it or not, science has uncovered some fascinating clues that can actually predict how long and how well we might live after 70. Now, I'm not talking about crystal balls or fortune tellers. These are real, scientifically proven signs, habits, traits, and little daily choices that add up to a longer, healthier life. And the best part? Many of them are completely within your control, so if you've ever wondered, what can I do right? Now to stay vibrant, active, and full of life in my 70s, 80s, and beyond, you're in the right place. Today we're going to explore 7 key signs that researchers say are linked to a longer lifespan. And I'll bet some of them might surprise you. Let's start with the first one. Something so simple, yet so powerful. Number 1, you keep moving, no matter what. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to slow down completely after retirement, while others stay active well into their 90s? Turns out, movement isn't just good for your joints or your heart, it's a major predictor of how long you'll live. Now, I'm not saying you need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. In fact, one of the biggest studies on aging found that just walking regularly, even if it's just a gentle stroll around the neighborhood, can add years to your life. The key is consistency. It's not about pushing yourself to exhaustion. It's about finding ways to move that you enjoy and can stick with. Take my neighbor, Margaret. She's 78, and every single morning, rain or shine, she takes her dog for a walk. Some days it's just around the block. Other days she'll go a little farther if she's feeling up to it. But that simple habit, it keeps her muscles strong, her heart healthy, and her mood lifted. And researchers would say she's onto something big. Number 2, you have a strong sense of purpose. Here's something you might not expect. Why you wake up in the morning could be just as important as how you wake up. Studies have found that people with a strong sense of purpose, whether it's volunteering, spending time with family, gardening, or even learning something new, tend to live longer than those who feel like each day just blends into the next. Think about it. When you have something that excites you, something that gets you out of bed with a little spark, your whole outlook changes. You're not just passing time, you're living it. My friend Bill, for example, retired at 65 and thought he'd spend his days relaxing. But after a few months, he realized he missed feeling useful. So he started volunteering at the local library, helping kids with their reading. Now, at 82, he says those afternoons with the kids give him more energy than anything else. And science backs him up. Having a reason to get up and go can literally add years to your life. Now, these first 2 signs are just the beginning. Because the next one, it's something we all do, but not always in the way that truly supports a long, healthy life. Number 3, you prioritize deep, restorative sleep. If you've ever brushed off a bad night's sleep with, "Hey, I'll catch up later," listen up. Sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's your body's time to repair, recharge, and reset. And as we get older, quality sleep becomes even more critical. Research shows that people over 70 who get consistent deep sleep have sharper minds, stronger immune systems, and even healthier hearts. But here's the catch. It's not just about the number of hours, it's about the quality. That means creating a bedtime routine that helps you wind down, keeping your room cool and dark, and avoiding things like late-night TV or heavy meals before bed. My Aunt Carol used to say she could get by on 5 hours of sleep. Then she started waking up groggy, forgetting little things, and just feeling run down. Her doctor suggested making a few small changes, like cutting out caffeine after lunch and reading instead of watching the news at night. Within weeks, she was sleeping more soundly, and she swears it made her feel 10 years younger. And that's the thing. These signs aren't about drastic overhauls. They're about small, meaningful shifts that add up over time. Now we've covered 3 powerful predictors of a long, vibrant life: staying active, having a sense of purpose, and prioritizing deep sleep. But there are more, and some of them might just change the way you think about your daily routine. So let's keep going. You know, when it comes to living a long, healthy life, sometimes the smallest things make the biggest difference. And the next few signs we're going to talk about? They might seem simple at first glance, but don't let that fool you, because science shows they have a huge impact on how well we age. So let's pick up right where we left off. Number 4, you stay connected. Not just busy, but truly connected. There's a saying that goes, no man is an island. And when it comes to aging well, that couldn't be more true. But here's the interesting part. It's not just about being around people, it's about having meaningful connections. Researchers have found that seniors with strong social ties, whether it's family, close friends, or even a tight-knit community group, tend to live longer, healthier lives than those who feel isolated. Now, that doesn't mean you need a packed social calendar. It's about quality, not quantity. Maybe it's a weekly phone call with your granddaughter, a coffee date with an old friend, or even a book club where you can share stories and laughter. Those moments of real connection, they do more than just lift your spirits. They actually help reduce stress, keep your mind sharp, and even strengthen your immune system. Take my cousin Helen. After her husband passed, she could have easily withdrawn, but instead, she made a point to reach out. She joined a gardening club, started having Sunday dinners with her neighbors, and even learned how to video call her great grandkids. And at 85, she's still one of the most vibrant people I know. She always says, you've got to keep your heart open. That's what keeps you young. And science agrees with her. Number 5, you eat like your body wants to live to 100. Now, I know we've all heard a million times that we should eat healthy, but here's the twist. The best diet for longevity isn't about strict rules or depriving yourself. It's about giving your body the kind of fuel that helps it thrive, especially as we get older. Studies of the world's longest-lived populations, places like Okinawa, Japan, and Sardinia, Italy, show some fascinating patterns. These folks aren't counting calories or cutting out entire food groups. Instead, they focus on real wholesome foods, plenty of vegetables, beans, whole grains, and healthy fats like olive oil. They eat fish more often than red meat. Enjoy. Fruit for dessert. And here's a fun one. They usually stop eating when they're almost full, not stuffed. But the most important part? They enjoy their meals. Food isn't just fuel. It's a pleasure, often shared with loved ones. So if you've been stressing over every bite, here's your permission to relax. Think of it this way. What would I eat if I wanted to feel amazing at 90? Maybe it's a hearty bowl of vegetable soup, a piece of grilled salmon with a side of roasted sweet potatoes, or a handful of nuts instead of a bag of chips. Small choices, big rewards. Number 6, you keep your brain curious, always learning something new. Here's a myth we need to bust. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, guess what? Your brain thrives on learning, no matter your age. In fact, challenging your mind regularly is one of the best ways to keep it sharp and resilient as the years go by. This doesn't mean you need to go back to school or memorize the dictionary unless you want to. It's about staying curious. Maybe it's picking up a new hobby, like painting or playing an instrument. Maybe it's learning a few phrases in a new language before a trip, or even just doing a crossword puzzle with your morning coffee. The key is to keep your brain engaged in ways that feel fun, not like homework. My old friend George took up bird watching at 75, something he'd never done before. At first, he could barely tell a sparrow from a finch, but now he's the go-to guy in his community for identifying birds, and he says it's given him whole new appreciation for nature. Plus, all that focus and memory work, it's like a workout for his brain. And that's exactly the kind of thing that helps protect against cognitive decline. Now, these 3 signs, staying socially connected, eating for longevity, and keeping your brain active, are all powerful predictors of a longer, healthier life. But there's one more we haven't covered yet, and it might be the most surprising of all. You know, when we're young, we often think about aging as something that just happens to us, like the passing of seasons. But the more science uncovers about longevity, the clearer it becomes. How we age isn't just luck or genetics. It's the sum of countless little choices we make every single day. And that brings us to our final, and perhaps most surprising, scientifically proven signs of a long, vibrant life. Number 7, you embrace positivity, not just happiness, but resilience. Here's something fascinating. Studies of centenarians, people who've lived to 100 and beyond, show that they tend to share one remarkable trait. It's not a perfect diet or a rigorous exercise routine, though those help. It's something deeper, an ability to weather life's storms without letting hardship dim their spark. Now, this isn't about slapping on a smile when you're hurting inside. Real resilience is different. It's the kind of attitude that says, "This is tough, but I've gotten through tough times before." It's finding small joys even on hard days, whether it's the warmth of sunlight through the window, the comfort of a favorite song, or the quiet pride of having overcome so much already. Researchers call this psychological resilience, and it's incredibly powerful. People who cultivate it tend to have lower stress levels, stronger immune systems, and yes, longer lifespans. Because here's the truth, life will throw challenges at us, especially as we get older, but it's not the challenges that define our years, it's how we meet them. Take my friend Rose, who at 92 still calls every setback a chance to learn something new. When she broke her hip a few years back, most people would have been discouraged. But Rose? She focused on what she could do, physical therapy exercises while sitting, phone calls with friends, even knitting blankets for her great-grandkids. And when I asked her secret, she just winked and said, "Honey, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." Bringing it all together. So let's take a step back and look at these 7 signs together. Staying active in ways that bring you joy, cultivating a sense of purpose, prioritizing deep, restorative sleep, nurturing meaningful relationships, eating foods that make your body thrive, keeping your brain curious and engaged, facing life's ups and downs with resilience. Notice what they all have in common. None require expensive gadgets, drastic lifestyle overhauls, or doing things that don't feel right for you. They're about tuning into what your body and mind truly need and giving yourself permission to enjoy the journey. A message just for you. If you're watching this, chances are you care deeply about making the most of your years, and that alone is something to celebrate. Because here's what I want you to remember. Every small, positive choice you make today is like planting a seed for the future. Some days those choices might feel effortless, other days they might feel like climbing a mountain, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up for yourself, one day at a time. So why not start right now? Pick one thing from today's conversation that resonated with you, whether it's calling an old friend tomorrow, trying a new vegetable at the market, or simply going to bed 30 minutes earlier, and give yourself the gift of following through. Before we go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these signs surprised you most? Or maybe you've already noticed how one of them has made a difference in your life. Your stories inspire all of us. And if this video brought you value, do me a favor, hit that like button, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. We create new videos every week to help you live your healthiest, happiest life at any age. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for spending this time together. However many years you've lived so far, I hope the next ones are your brightest. Yet, here's to your health, your happiness, and a future filled with moments that make you glad to be exactly where you are. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.